I'm Edie Fraser, CEO of the Women Business Collaborative, WBC. I and my colleague, Gwen Young, our Chief Operating Officer, are so proud to be servant leaders of what we say is a critical movement for business women with WBC. And we welcome you to LinkedIn Live today as we foster with our lives and our commitment over decades to really uplift and support women and diversity, as we've got a sisterhood and with it a brotherhood of men who support women in business. As Maya Angelou said, stay with positive people, get rid of negative people, and be with those that want to drive change. And we know with Ruth Bader Ginsburg, when she was asked how many women should be on the Supreme Court, and she said 9. Everything we can do to bring others to the table and uplift others is what Gwen and I will live every day. Gwen?
Thank you, Edie, and welcome to our LinkedIn Live series. I'm Gwen Young, and as Edie mentioned, the COO of the Women Business Collaborative. And like Edie, we come with a long history of working for equal opportunity, equity, and parity across all sectors. These LinkedIn Live sessions are going to happen every week up until our 3rd annual summit, Empowering Through Gender Parity and Diversity. And on these LinkedIn Lives, we will be discussing a wide variety of topics, from diversity, equity, inclusion, to best practices in driving parity across business, and increasing women as controllers and allocators of capital and finance. You'll be hearing from Edie and myself today, and as we'll discuss later, from a few of our high-level speakers coming from across industries and sectors. This 2021 is the perfect time to grow our collaboration, our movement, and help spread awareness about the importance of women's leadership across business and what is going to happen at this powerful day-and-a-half summit in September. Edie, I'd love to have you tell the audience about the Women Business Collaborative.
WBC is a movement. And as we look back and have seen the civil rights movement and the voting rights movement, there's never been a movement for women in business to change the lives and to accelerate the progress. How thrilled we were on May in 2019 when we kicked WBC off with 22 women's business organizations that worked together to support collaboration. And today, Gwen and I share that we have 52 women's business organizations, all supporting different action initiatives against this movement to elevate women and diverse leaders with men, with private and public support and the media, as we push data and we push stories and galvanize around our mission of equal position, pay, and power. So as we look and we thank, and gratitude is part of everything we do, as well as the positive elevation of who are authentic, that are presenting not only data and stories, but can we celebrate the corporations and the entities for all that stand up to drive that change. So with that, we have at WBC our 9 action initiatives, and those are so powerful against more women CEOs. And together, as we work with Catalyst and C200 and Ascend and WBC, we will announce every new CEO and do an annual report and the C-suite. And the same thrust of trying to get beyond 22%. And we do celebrate those that are reaching over 40%. And we elevate particularly the women of color and those running P&L. And our third area of boards, and Gwen and I celebrate that we've seen nearly a doubling of women named to public boards as she and I work with Equilar with WBC, and now on private boards. And with that, a third of that being women of color to boards. We know with good governance comes the tremendous uplifting of women and people of color. And with that, our focus on entrepreneurship and some 14 groups that are working on entrepreneurship and capital, and then our capital and finance initiative as we work together and make certain that we see more women in the M&A space and institutional investors and others. And then with parity and pay parity and clearly diversity, because diversity cuts across on everything that we do, as well as our pipeline, that we are leveraging all that we do. And with that, we've set a goal of 30% diversity across every framework and all of our stakeholders. And we're at 34% right now. So let us celebrate that. And with that, we've set a goal of 10% men, and we will push that. And we thank all of our CEOs, our champions, and we say, we are WBC, Faster Together. So why now? There's never been a more important time. Between our women's movement for business, between the ascent of Black Lives Matter and the sensitivity to diversity, which we've all been pushing for decades, we are seeing accountability, action, and acceleration. And so with that, we also talk about collaboration. So wonder, Gwen, if you want just to pick up on all of that with the collaboration, and as we share the excitement of having more than 14 CEOs participate in our summit with Trailblazers, 8 that we're honoring as we really build their stories, their data, and to all of our advisory and leaders, and to all those in this nation and globe, join with us as we really build and salute and recognize success. So Gwen, tell us about this summit.
This summit is going to be exciting. Our third annual, as we are still a new entity, as Edie mentioned, summit is scheduled to take place virtually September 21st in the afternoon and the 22nd. And our theme this year is empowering through gender parity and diversity. The summit will be entirely virtual, so we encourage you to register and join. It will have a global reach. We expect an incredibly large audience of diverse individuals, women, men, corporations. As Edie mentioned, we're recognizing 2 key groups as part of our summit. 8 CEOs are winning our Excellence in Gender and Diversity Award. And these CEOs come from some of the largest companies in the Fortune and Russell: State Street Bank, Dow, Progressive, Siemens, Walmart, Procter & Gamble, General Motors, BlackRock. These CEOs and these companies who are leading the charge to advance diversity. We are also recognizing 6 trailblazers whose leadership and innovations have created new pathways to change for their communities and beyond. These include the Secretary of Commerce, Gina Raimondo. They include Magic Johnson and Magic Johnson Enterprises, the activist and leader in pay parity, Lily Ledbetter. They include the Son of Brown Duckett of TIAA-CREF, and Joey Ryman of Brand New World Studios. We have a great array of speakers as well, coming from our key partners, our champions and our sponsors across both industries and sectors. And these individuals will be talking about how we create equal position, pay, and power for all businesswomen. Edie mentioned our 9 action initiatives. So much of the conversation at the summit is going to be, where are we in reaching our target? One of our targets is we want to ensure that by 2025, women comprise 25% of all CEOs, and 10% of that 25 being women of color. Where are we with that? This is what we're going to talk about at the summit. We're going to talk about in the technology sector, how do you recruit? How do you retain? How do you build that pipeline of women rising into leadership positions in technologies? We're also going to discuss, Edie mentioned, building the movement of men and women. We're going to discuss who are the men that are involved with us? What are they doing? How are they leading themselves as individuals and as leaders of organizations and communities? How are we all working together to build the largest and fastest growing movement of people? The summit is going to be on Hopin, which is a live platform. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to talk about what you're going to hear over the next 11 weeks, because you're going to hear from some of these speakers and from some of these topics so that we can prepare you for the great thought leadership, best practices, and calls to action that we are going to talk about in September. This is going to be one of the most amazing day-and-a-half events on women's leadership in business. Edie, do you want to talk about who's going to come to the summit, who we're going to be hearing from over the next 11 weeks, so that we can get the energy going for everyone to join us?
I'd be glad to, Gwen. This is to open our arms, our tables, and to make certain that everyone invite their colleagues. So we'll start with our partner organizations. With 52 organizations, we hope they'll each bring 3 or more to the table, because it is that collective power of all the women's business organizations. Secondly, we're really thrilled to have more than 30 corporate sponsors and the award winners. So we're hoping to get large numbers from the companies, because we want to be a session for learning and development that is so rich. We have, thanks to our board and our leadership, an advisory council, leaders council that we call champions, because we are champions of change. And with that, we expect hundreds of those attending, participating, supporting, and leading, because what we know now is that the movement of WBC is so rich and valued because our tent is getting bigger and bigger. We believe we're reaching 2 million businesswomen now. And so it is a call out to all to attend, to participate, and to lead. The reason we are Faster Together is that we have more than 150 people now so engaged in leadership positions of change around our action initiatives, with our communications. And so there is a place for you too. You know, Me Too started out as a sexual harassment movement, but we're really about We Too, and We Too about the elevation of businesswomen. And so with that, you will learn so much, you will contribute. So it's to the summit. We're inviting all, but we also want you to be in touch with us and our board of directors who work feverishly, and our advisory and leaders, to join with us in this advent of real change. Gwen?
Wonderful, Edie. So I just want to end by giving you a teaser of some of the topics and some of the groups you'll be hearing from over the next 11 weeks and again at the summit. We're going to be looking at accelerating impact and building the movement. And one of our partners that's going to help talk about this is Gender Fair. We're going to look at women on boards and the diversity with Equilar, with Mandela Global Advisors. We're going to look at what does staffing the workforce of tomorrow look like in 2021 with genuine and good as gold training. We're going to look at how we build this movement, Go West Creative and Giveful. The rising tide of women entrepreneurs, speaking with groups from Wells Fargo and others. Diversity, equity, inclusion. Diverse women across the C-suite. We'll have our partner Sarah Mount helping us look at this diversity. How are we building that pipeline? What does it look like in the C-suite? We're going to look at leadership in healthcare. We have groups like Cigna Humana helping us look at what does that look like. Retaining and accelerating women in technology with Tata Consultancy Service and ITSMF. Edie mentioned our Women CEOs report. We're going to be looking at what do women CEOs look like? What's the landscape look like with the Ascend, Catalyst, and Committee of 200? And we're going to look at the role of gender in companies of purpose. What is this movement that we're hearing about stakeholder capitalism? Where does gender fit? And how are companies being involved in social justice issues, gender parity, equity, and diversity? So to register for the summit, you can find all the information on our website at wbccollaborative.org. We're putting the link in this LinkedIn Live. Look under our events tab. This summit accompanies an executive roundtables in a series of events we have every month. And we're also giving you the link to our hop-in page where you can see the full schedule, including the speakers and topics. What I think we're saying, Edie, is join us at the summit, but join us at the Women Business Collaborative. Join us to collaborate and build a global movement that's really going to accelerate women's leadership, position, and power across all industries. So this is all we have time for today, but we would like to thank all of you who joined us for the first in our LinkedIn Live WBC Faster Together series. Our next show will be next week, July 15th at 12 Eastern Standard Time, where we'll be talking about accelerating progress. Invite your followers, invite your friends, invite your colleagues to join us. And additionally, remember to register for the summit and keep up to date on the progress of the movement by following us on social media at WBC Collaborative. And we're on Twitter and LinkedIn. Edie, I'm going to give you the final word so that we can send us all off on this great Thursday, committed to truly driving impact and change and changing leadership across all sectors.
Thanks, Gwen, and thanks to all the teams that are working so hard, and to our organization partners and all our leaders, and congratulations to the extraordinary summit that you position. We want to tell you that our email is open, our phones are open. If you want to join with us, this is totally about inclusion. We've been so for diversity, but the inclusion and engagement is absolutely critical. So we want you to partner with us. We want you to join us. We want you to hear the clarion call to action and be part of ringing those bells as we salute success. Thanks, Gwen.
Thank you. Have a great day, everybody.